Hello and welcome to Presenter Tips with ELB Education. My name is Daniel, and today we're looking at part 2 of our annotation series. In part 1, we looked at how to simply use Presenter to write on external curriculum, websites, PDF documents, PowerPoint presentations, anything that you can pull up on your computer. We can use Presenter, Annotate to then access and begin writing on. Today, in part 2, we're going to be looking at the next logical progression on bringing things that are online or outside of Presenter, bringing them into Presenter, and we'll look at some of the benefits that offers. So let's get started. You'll remember that to get started, you really only need to have 2 things prepared. The first is a blank Presenter file, just a blank white page. And then the second thing that you'll want to have open is just some sort of content. In this case, it's a website, but again, it could be a PDF document, could be a PowerPoint presentation. The options are as limitless as what your computer will allow. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using just a website. So remember that to get started, we're going to be using our Annotate button, which is located here in the bottom right-hand corner. And once we tap that button, remember that Presenter minimizes, and in its place comes this lovely toolbar, which is our annotation toolbar. That shows that we're still kind of tied or tethered to Presenter in some way. Now remember, in our first lesson, I showed how, right now we're just at a website, and we have full navigational capabilities. I can open up another website. I can go here. I can pull up a PDF document. I can minimize everything. I have many, many options. But for the sake of this, we're just going to stay here at this website. So I showed how you can just begin having students come up. Whereas this might be a worksheet you would ordinarily print out and send to every student, you can have them come up to the front. You can have them just write on the page. And remember, it's also multiple points of touch. So you can have 2 students working at the same time, or even 4 students working at the same time, depending on the kind of space you have. And now that's great. But let's see what else we can do using Presenter. We want to go back into Presenter, and now I'll show you what we do there. In part 1, I showed you what these different buttons do. Pencil tool helps you write. There's the highlighter tool. There's the eraser tool. Those are all pretty self-explanatory. But now if we look at the next 3 below it, you'll see those have a camera. That means they are our screen capture tools. They do screenshots. The first one, which we're not going to use, is a screenshot from corner to corner. It's just going to take a picture of everything that's on your screen and send it directly to Presenter. The second one down is a free-form select, where you can draw a rectangle of anything you want, and then it will do the same thing. You'll cut it, and it will send it directly and automatically to Presenter. The third one down is a free-form select of any shape you want to draw. You'll see it's kind of like a circle, but you can just trace any shape you want. It'll cut it, and then again automatically send it to Presenter. For the sake of this assignment, I'm just going to use the free-form rectangle. And so as I'm aiming at showing a progression from how in lesson 1 we were able to have students write on this worksheet, now the next progression is to bring it into Presenter and see what kind of benefits that gives us. So here we're going to select that, and all I have to do is just drag whatever I want. So you'll see this, I could drag it over every question or over a certain number of questions. We'll just do these 4 right now. All I have to do is let go, and then you'll see up at the top it says the screenshot has been sent to Presenter, and our toolbar has reappeared. To go back, to return to Presenter, we hit this button right there. Let's do that. You'll see here we have those numbers I just copied and pasted, and now I'm going to bring them somewhere else. I'll bring them into this guy. So here I have those 4 math problems that I just copied and pasted. You might be thinking, what's the benefit of that? It's just those math problems in Presenter instead of outside of Presenter. Well, now rather than have students working on all different problems, that's what I can do. I can duplicate it, and I can have students come up and work on the same problems. So now I've got the same questions up, and I can call 3 students up for working on the same problems. I'm able to take the content and duplicate it. So now I can have, again, I can have those students up here working and able to do those things all simultaneously. So that, I think that's a pretty significant advantage that you can find within the presenter software itself, that you're able to take content, here in this case, just math problems, take content and then duplicate it so that now you can have multiple students up here. Now remember, if you're using this on a Prowise panel that goes into table mode, imagine the benefit that you have with that, because now it's not just 3 students, but you can have something where all around the board, if it's in table mode, you can have students up. I've designed lessons where you can have 8 students working on different math problems. And so the benefits there are really in getting students out of their desks, around the panel or up in front of the panel, and engaging in the content, whereas otherwise the teacher is just kind of giving a direct instruction to them and they're having to just sit and receive it all the same way. This gives a chance for more interactivity within the lesson itself. So I hope that was helpful in this part 2 of our annotation series. In part 3, our final part in this series, we'll see how we can make these things accessible to the entire class, not just 1, not just 2, 3, 4, 5 students, but the entire class. Thank you very much.